Right, get ready to go then. Watch the lights is the cry. Who's going to hook up beautifully at the start there? Well, Creasy's usually pretty quick off the line, but the others aren't going to be slow, and away we go. And sure enough, it is Smith who gets away, but Creasy's got the inside hook, second gearing. He seems to have a really good gearing in that bike because he zooms round Copper's absolutely flying. Morgan Creasy, I think you're going to see the yellow machine at the front, but I reckon Smith's going to give him a hard time in this race there, Tony.
Yeah, as they come through, it is indeed Creasy in front, but Kilworth is having a look at Smith. He's running a really wide line, but also Smith is having a look at Creasy, as you expected. He's gone wide and now swung to the inside, seeing whether he can make an inside move on Creasy as we come through Park. Looks like Creasy's kept hold of that lead, Keith, as they chase down towards Chris Curve. Throwing it in for that right-hander there. It's a real stack and queue at the front here. The front five, there's not much between any of them. As we throw into the gooseneck, Smith's moved ahead. Oh, so let me just try and get it. I think that's Smith. Yeah, Smith, Creasy, Kilworth as we come down the hill. And fourth and fifth aren't far behind either. Smith stretches off, gets a bit of a gap in through the chicane. He's followed through by Creasy, and then it looks like it's Kilworth behind him as they come down towards the mountain, and they'll be back for you, Keith.
Yeah, I'm watching them go through the bottom of the mountain there, indeed. And obviously Morgan Creasy there in second place. And you're right, I think Kilworth still wants to claim his scalp before the end of the race. Obviously, this is where the championship very much is. Now, Kieran Smith will be the very much the hare here. See if he can get away from the hounds behind him.
We know he's got the pace.
We certainly do.
Race this morning, yeah.
That race this morning, where did we go to? We got it to a 34.297, comfortably the fastest lap we've seen this weekend, as he comes across the line with a very healthy gap there already. Just check that ultra lap record. Yeah, he did indeed beat Josh Harvey's ultra lap record earlier today. I did suspect that, so there's another one that takes a tumble. That was only a couple of years old, that one, as Smith comes across the line. 141 is his opening bid here.
Yeah, he's through here now, Keith, and he's got a really, really healthy lead over Creasy, with Kilworth chasing him down as everyone charges through Charlie's 2, and our leaders tip into Park, head off towards Chris Curve. Try and pick him up again as they come down to the right-hander there. Yeah, Smith's got a really good lead, strong lead now as he approaches the gooseneck, throws it in here. Safety margin. He's not using all the track there, Keith, as Creasy moves out to try and close that gap and also keep Stacey Kilworth behind him. But the fourth and fifth place men of Simon and Fern are still in touch. There's going to be an interesting battle between all four of those. They're certainly not falling behind. There's a little bit of a gap, but it's nothing crazy as they come into the mountain back with you. Yeah, looking like the Kieran Smith show right now. There's a bit of a challenge by somebody there down the inside. Oh no, not quite. Whoever that was on the outside swoops around, gives them the full chop there. Obviously we had a bit of a discussion in the canteen yesterday morning. That wasn't too close though, so I don't think that's going to be one to get you before the headmaster's office yet again. As Smith now giving everybody a lesson on how to get a ultra machine. He's on a Suzuki of some description, I believe. It just says a GX 1000 in my notes here. Doesn't tell me which particular variety of GX 1000, but there are a whole lot of them. But he's getting this one around here at 1:35.735 on the first flying lap, ahead of Morgan Creasy by 2.5 seconds. Stacey Kilworth just half a second behind Morgan though. Alex Simon, then we've got James Fern, Tyler Donovan, Jamie Thomas. Ian Ashby gets passed on that lap, but he's still leading the extremes, ahead of Barry Mantell, who loses a couple of places unfortunately. Over they go past you once again, Tony, and Smith just not in any danger at all though. Creasy and Kilworth, any news on that one? And so Stacey getting a little bit closer? No, it didn't look like it as they came through this time. I was keeping my eyes on Ian Ashby that time, Keith, as he came past, looking really stylish through Charlie's 2, especially the man who I'm reliably informed is only in his 6th race meeting. It looks absolutely fantastic on that 955i Triumph. Great to see that out there. Wow, it's only his 6th race meeting, you're saying? Is that on the notes you got there, yeah? Yeah, he's just lost his novice book, Keith, and he's really performing way beyond that. Okay. He's a motocross rider and off-road hill climb winner. Okay. And that 955i, he took it to local man Clive Wood, the Triumph specialist, to get it repaired for a road trip, and it ended up with Clive Wood persuading him to prepare it as a race bike. And now Clive Wood's giving him all the possible help he can get, and he seems to be getting rewarded with some really good performances. Absolutely justified. Well, I'll tell you what, maybe Clive wants to find him a nice little 675 Evo and into the MRO Clubman's there.
because he clearly got some serious pace as he comes over the line, or comes towards, I should say, over the line. It's now, hang on a minute. It's going to be a timing glitch. I thought I saw Smith go across the line. Yeah, he goes across the line. 34.555.
Yeah, it's Smith's still running, Keith. So
yeah, no, that's all right.
And it's Creasy behind and Kilworth, but with a reasonable gap back to Kilworth. Kilworth still trying, using all the track at Charlie's 2 that he possibly can. And then we've still got the same order of Simon and Fern behind that. Now Donovan comes past me as well. They're quite well spread out here, Keith. It's going to take something for some people to close up and make any difference here in the remaining 1 and a bit laps of this one.
Yeah, sure is. We're reliably informed that Stacey Kilworth is good doing the Buffaloes girls dance by going around the outside at Charlie's. So there's only one man he wants to go around the outside of right now. And unfortunately, it looks like Morgan Creasy's got that well and truly covered.
Yeah, he's a bit too far out of his clutches at the moment. Doesn't seem to be particularly making any ground on him. I can see them as they're coming down towards the chicane. I mean, he's kind of in touch, but it's not a position where he'd be able to make a move from at the moment. So he's going to need to show some patience and move up, get a bit closer before he can really take that round the outside move that you're talking about, Keith.
Well, look at Morgan's results. I'd like to think he's maybe a little bit of a specialist here at Cadwell Park. Certainly at Brands Hatch at the start of the year, it was a four race wins even for Stacey Kilworth, whereas Morgan only picked up a total of 35 points. So not a great start to the season there for Morgan. He started to come good at Pembrey with a couple of seconds, couple of thirds. Took his first win at Snetterton. So let's see, how did his rival get on a Snetterton? Yeah, pretty even at Snetterton between the two of them. So we've got another Snetterton round, and then we've got the Brands Hatch round. So it could be a very tight championship, this one, between Creasy and Kilworth.
Yeah, that gap between them two on the track here is starting to stretch out a little bit, I'd say, from the last lap to this one. I was having a bit of a snoop on the BEMSEE Riders group on Facebook, and I saw that Stacey Kilworth did say that Cadwell was one of his favourites. But at the moment, Morgan Creasy is kind of showing him the way around in this one.
Yeah, well,
Smith's through the gooseneck. This is really strong. This race is in his pocket. It's just up to him whether it falls out from here. And now we've got Creasy and Kilworth coming through. I mean, it's not a big gap between them, Keith, but again, not really in a position to make a move. And then our fifth place men are again still running kind of really close to each other. I'm not seeing like consistent swapping of places between them, but there's not much between them. It wouldn't take much of a mistake from Simon to have Fern right on his tail.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Just having a look there, and Smith can claim another lap record, or the same lap record he took earlier. He's just got 34.056. So he is absolutely flying as he comes across the line for the penultimate time, because the last lap flag now goes twirling in his general direction as that battle continues between Creasy and Kilworth. So if this is not one of his favourite tracks, and Kilworth will be well pleased to have claimed the points all that he has so far this weekend.
Sorry, he said it was one of his favourite tracks.
Oh, it was?
Yeah,
sorry, mate, I misheard you. It's a bit noisy in the background. I've got the
looking forward to coming here.
Okay, I've got the noise in the background.
Just coming through for the last time, and I'd say he's moved up closer than he was the last time I came round. He chases up that incline towards Park, chasing up the hill. I don't see him move through Park, but if he can gradually start to make some inroads, he might be able to do something here, possibly down into Mansfield. I would imagine he's quite strong into there. And our leader Smith comes through the gooseneck. He's taking this really comfortably now, I'd say, Keith. He knows this is in the bag. He goes through Mansfield, and we look. Creasy leads us through the gooseneck. Kilworth's putting a tight line. He's not going to be able to launch a move there, Keith. And it's coming in, count them out. And now he's really got on the tail. He has closed up through Mansfield. He's made a real good closure up on Creasy there. Creasy just seems to open that gap up again. It's coming to the mountain. But let's see, Keith. Let's see what you can call on this last run through the woodland section.
Well, see if there's going to be any change. I don't think so, though. It's very close. There are a couple of bike lengths between them as they go under the trees, out of my sight once again. Again, I don't think Kilworth's going to be particularly brave down there. Obviously Creasy, this is his local track. Oh boy, Smith giving us some serious fresh air under the front wheel action as he comes out of barn. Absolutely hoiks a monster there as Richard Prudence giving the flag. Oh, Kilworth though, a bit of a wobble on. He's going to definitely go push as hard as he can. He definitely had a good go there. I think he snapped out on him a little bit there. He comes across the line just a tenth of a second behind Morgan Creasy there. So good effort by Stacey, Simon and Fern. They're separated by another tenth of a second as well. So another very close ride there. Another good little battle there for sixth place as well as Donovan and Thomas come across the line. Again, separated by less than 2/10 of a second. Starts to spread out now as Ashby takes another win on the Extreme Machine. So a great weekend for him in what we believe is his debut in the class then. Matt Hinnell, Simon Gates, Barry Mantell. He'll be glad that Ian Ashby didn't show up any earlier in the year, that's for sure. Derek Cripps takes third of the Extremes as well. And then Stacey's son Hayden being a chip off the old block and finishing 10th in the Ultra class ahead of Goodings. Okay, that concludes race 14. Just 2 left in the programme now.